schedule over the last couple of years, and it makes it seem like not a lot at all. But I think on the grand scale, it's probably a fair amount.
That's a lot. Yeah.
This will be my 5th of the year. I think I was injured much of the first 3 months of the year. I was dealing with an injury, so I kind of missed out on a few that I wanted to do, but I think I'll still meet my goal. Do 6 to 8 for the year, but I'll probably do a couple more after Master Worlds.
How much do you weigh?
190. Okay. Middle heavy bracket. I can sit like right in the middle of it. I don't like cut for it or.
Are you adult or masters? Okay, master. So doesn't once you get black belt, isn't that a whole
my god
different sea?
That's I haven't even like begun to think about that, honestly. Like I think the number 1 Master 1 black belt is like Peter Frank or something.
Oh my
Check.
Monster.
I saw him at the UFC Fight Pass Invitational. Yeah. And then Clark is in that too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Check.
Because I saw he's signed up for the same division.
Yeah. Master 1 middle heavy black belt.
That's you.
I watched them a bit last year. It's different. I mean, you're talking about guys all the guys at Master 1 middle heavy black they've been black belts for 10, 15 years. It's a different animal for sure.
Yeah, it's so funny how like and then it's
there are levels. Yeah.
each step.
I mean, like you probably remember Vitor right from the morning because he's a coach in the morning.
Oh, you remember Vitor? Pasco Cal.
Yeah, Pasco Cal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
such a sweetheart killer.
every time I train with Vitor, he makes me feel like I know nothing of jiu-jitsu. Like he just Io does that to him. Imagine. I've been training for almost 10 years, and I feel like pretty adept. But like Vitor makes me feel like Kyle makes him feel like he knows nothing. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like, really, as far as like skill and just the level and all that. I don't. Yeah.
Okay. So you know the deal with this type of training. With this, it's going to be similar to class, but since we have more time, we can like sit down and like talk through things more. So if that's helpful, that's what we usually do. We'll like play a game and then we'll sit around and talk about it.
Perfect.
And, like, pontificate.
Okay.
Which unfortunately, that was actually one of the feedbacks from the class that I've been doing here at BAME was like people were like why the fuck are we doing this thing or that thing? And so I tried to like implement that feedback in the last
couple of classes. I noticed that you were giving more hints and more thoughts. Yes.
Okay.
I particularly think that's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's positive.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, Denny said a few people told him that like they
really?
appreciated the explanation of why.
Yeah.
Because it's hard in like an hour. Because if we just start talking for the whole hour, then it's like, oh, now we're not training. So like, I was trying to figure out the balance. But okay, I'm glad that's helpful. So we do more of that in these sessions.
Cool.
So, and have you done any of this type of training? No. Okay, so we're just gonna not drill anything and try to learn by just setting up very constrained like situations. Yeah. It's like a little bit like situational sparring. How much do you know about the ecological stuff?
I've seen a little bit of your post about it.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Not a lot, what you just described.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see. It's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell him. What's your experience so far?
Actually,
can I mic you?
Sure.
Just clip it.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
So I think, my thoughts on eco, I think they have changed. The more eco classes I've taken. So from the beginning, it's like, oh, this is like, yes, positional 2.0 to okay, now I understand that the point is BJJ has so many variables, right? That isolating like a drill might be, applying that drill to our to like a real scenario is like a big jump. So what eco is trying to do is to give more freedom, but still constrained, but do things based on a game, so that you figure out your way that best works for you, and it is you do your own training, right? It's more your own learning, right? More.
I like that explanation.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
It's like adaptive.
Yeah. So once I understood that, it kind of clicked, and I said, okay, I like this more and more. And still, I don't know if I would like to do all my training from white to black belts based on eco. That is still not clear in my head. But what it is clear is that it's a lot of fun, and you work out a lot. Like you have a lot of match time, so and that's valuable. So that's where I am at now. So right now I'm liking it more and more, and particularly where I am in my training, I think it's one of the best classes I can go to right now. I don't know, maybe when I was like a fresh white belt, maybe not. I don't know. Cool. I'm not. Yes.
Nice. So, glad you like it.
Yes.
Should we wait until you get
No,
started?
we just get started.
Yeah, we got one more person coming, Jeff. Cool. We can start actually.
Sure.
Is this thing kosher to stay on here during this?
Oh, not
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I just didn't know if you were gonna have any questions about for him. Yeah.
All right, I'll reestablish that. If it's
Yeah. Do you want to do the structure game first?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one we did on Thursday. So what we're trying to do here is figure out how to put Matt in like an unathletic, unstructured position, and Matt wants to stay in a good structure. So my goal on top is simply, I can't grab any of the gi material or anything, but my entire goal here is just to touch his knee or his foot to the ground in any way that I can. So it could look like this, I win. It could look like this, I win. It could look like, is your neck okay? This, I win. The only thing I can't do is grab the cloth or step past his hips. So I need to stay like in this little radius here and try to, yeah. And he's gonna do everything he can to push on me with his feet, or hook me with his feet if he wants, and push on me with his hands, or his hands and his feet, and push on himself. And this is a really important one too. So if I'm trying to like dump him over his head, he can push on his own legs to keep me from doing that, right? So he can push on himself or on me. Oh, there's Jess. Oh, sweet. Okay, I guess we can get this one going, and then she can jump in. Or what's up?
Hello.
Hello.
All good.
All good. Cool. Questions on that?
I assume bottom guy's not supposed to grab sleeves either.
Correct.
No grips. Yeah.
And if you accomplish this goal, just switch top bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
Fun. How are you?
Good, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a while in the making.
Yeah.
It's been out forever.
Should we actually?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
for the initial one. And then we can.
No.
Alright, ready? Go.
So it has been putting your hand like this only that doesn't.
We can put something there.
Oh, my foot was on the ground.
You do that.
Nice. Cool. Good job.
That was a good class.
Josh hits me all the time.
Oh, it's
I'm staring at it. Why is it moving? Why is it not changing?
Oh man, you got it. Man. Sorry. You good? You good? Good job. One more.
Oh, that's why I got this. I'm gonna be this is good here.
Now that Jeff's here, do you want to go through that one more time?
Yeah, we can do the whole thing again. Yes.
Do you explain or do you want to?
Hand up, Jay.
Do you want to do it first or do you want to?
Let's explain it and then debrief real quick. So we'll explain what we're doing first. All right, so structure game, we're trying to figure out on bottom how to maintain a solid structure, and then on top, trying to figure out how to basically like disassemble that structure and make Matt be in like an unathletic position, specifically being able to like pin his legs to the floor. So the whole time, my entire goal is to either touch one of his feet or one of his knees to the ground in any way that I can. Those are all wins. The only thing I can't do is grab his gi or step all the way past his hip line. So the whole game is me here trying to do shit to touch his feet and knees to the ground. Matt's only goal is to maintain a structure and prevent me from pinning his legs to the ground. The only thing he can't do is grab on me, but he can push on me with his feet. He can hook me with his feet. He can push on me with his arms. No grabbing. Yeah, no grabbing from bottom, just framing. And then he can also push on himself. So if I start to like push his knees that way, he can push on himself. If I try to dump him over his head, he can push on himself. And that's the game there. It makes it a lot easier Actually, I want to ask you guys what you found real quick. So we'll play it in a second, but we're just gonna debrief with y'all real quick. What'd you feel?
I feel so it makes you more aware of one of maybe the fundamental things in not getting your guard pass is like don't let the opponent pin your leg. So I think it's very useful in that regard, like build that primitive intuition in your head. Yeah.
Is there anything that you found made it easier or more difficult?
Not that I did, but I noticed something when rolling with you is like I felt like you were pushing on my forearms a lot of the time, and that made it like super hard for me to pin you.
So pummeling the feet and like pushing.
Yeah. So essentially, not letting me get like a comfortable position and isolate your leg. Yeah.
Did you notice anything that made it more difficult or harder?
Yeah, well, I think I was not as successful as my training partners in this drill, but no, it was. I think that was really. I loved it. I would do it for an hour, and then I think my guard would be a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did it for an hour the other day. So.
Yeah, straight up.
That's what I
We
would
play-
want to
we
do.
played this game only.
It's just like when I don't know, like when I see like really high level guys, like they always have all these fundamentals, right? And like my guard sucks, so that would be great to work on. Yeah.
One thing that we've learned over the last couple weeks of doing this is like, as the defending player, not ever allowing two legs to be controlled at once. So anytime you got both hands on my feet, I was very, very adamant about getting one of them away, because that enables me to like continue pummeling and making your life more difficult. But the second you have both your hands on my feet and I don't have control of at least one of them, I feel I'm in deep shit.
Yeah.
And it makes you very more aware of how to do that with your feet, since we're not allowed
Right.
to use our hands to grab.
Right.
We're just pushing, so you have to figure out how to use your feet.
Right.
To use your hands on the rails.
Yep.
Are y'all the type of people that can incorporate that information immediately, or is this like just learn by doing for an hour?
Learn by doing.
Learn by doing for an hour. Yeah.
And then there's a progression, so
Right.
we'll add more variability as we go.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do that here too.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. We go top, bottom, out.
Top bottom out. Yeah. So we'll have two pairs. Somebody's gonna be on the wall.
I'll be out
so-
first.
Okay, you'll be out
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll explain how the rotation will work. So you start on bottom here, and then one of y'all, whoever wants to start on bottom, go ahead and take bottom position. And if you win from
Yeah, if you went up top, you would go to the bottom, and then I would come in.
right, yeah, okay, yeah. So I'll go to the bottom, and then he goes over there.
No,
or are we just doing top,
He comes
bottom out?
Yeah, top, bottom, out. So,
Okay.
So Zach, like, say if Josh wins in 10 seconds, right?
Person in the wall always comes on top.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that. There we go.
Yep.
That's why Jess is here.
Valuable addition.
We go longer than 2 minutes. 'cause we're
Yeah,
doing-
let's do, yeah.
5. Yeah, that's fine. All right, hit it. Go ahead. Oh, there we go. That's a pin.
Should it not be for 3 seconds?
Yeah, just touch it, yeah. Yeah.
You should
Just no.
Ah.
You're on bottom. I haven't seen that yet. That's great. Your feet touch, yeah, but you can't do it. Just with this one, we'll add more stuff.
Dude, you were baiting me. Okay. Another lesson.
Okay. Don't get dumped by Jesse.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, your bottom.
Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah.
Definitely harder.
Rocky boy guy.
God damn it, Josh.
Ah. Nice. Good job.
Alright.
It's so hard.
Right now.
Heard that. Yeah, heard that.
You've been there, right?
Yeah, okay. I didn't really know that. Yeah, thanks.
Hey.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Yeah. Good job, good job, good job. Okay. So your first time doing this specific game, Jess, did you have any thoughts or things that you found out?
Honestly, as a guard player, I feel like a lot of my ability to angle requires putting my feet on the floor. So when I don't have the ability to put my feet and my knees on the floor, especially with somebody larger, it completely takes away my ability to get my hips in the right place, right? It's okay for me if somebody pins my foot to the floor because I always have the other leg to come over and fix my angle, right? Especially when somebody's much bigger, it's really hard for you to stop you guys from just forcing my leg down. There's nothing I can do there. That's not the jiu-jitsu you're giving me, though.
Right. We're like constraining it to a very specific.
Exactly.
Like, use case.
And I think in this situation, due to the body type difference, it's not
It's giving you trouble.
feasible for me.
Gotcha.
And also, when all else fails, dub somebody on their fucking head.
Yeah. No, this was actually good because I haven't experienced anybody doing that yet. She just grabbing my hips and turning me over.
So my thought
So this is
process for
good.
that is if I can't move laterally, I move linearly, right?
Yeah.
So if you're so busy defending from a lateral perspective, there's nothing you're gonna do to stop me from going linear.
Right.
This is some spot.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything from you guys that made it that you found out? You had like an epiphany, I think, about something. It looked like.
Oh, yeah. So I saw, I think it was you. Up. I saw you doing like a couple of times, like grabbing your own foot to get it. So then that got me thinking, I've never seen no one in real life doing this. So can these induce some bad habits or?
We can find out by adding more variability to the game. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a question with all these games. We'll see like the more we simplify tasks versus the more variability we add, it always is going to highlight something that's like, oh, I wonder how this transfers to like the full game of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So you play like more and more different types, and you can see which things
You
are
polish
working
those
in like
things.
which situation. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but that's a good question. Yeah.
For what it's worth.
For what it's worth, Joao Miao did that to Mikey Musumeci a long time
really?
ago. He like
Okay,
took his
cool.
foot and just like pulled it in front.
All right. Okay.
So,
well.
so it does happen. Well, maybe rare, but
Yeah.
it is a possibility sometimes.
Yeah. We're trying to just like be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know, the behaviors we're doing are like stupid, or like we're trying to figure out anything that can solely get us to the goal for that game, and then we can transfer those to other situations. Did you have anything that you felt?
Question, I guess.
Yeah, one thing was just like I was getting past pretty quickly, but I was trying to pay attention to other people who weren't, and like their hand placement and their steady state here. If it was like here or here, and I did notice that I was getting past in basically the same exact way every time, which was like separating the leg forward down this way. So I'm like, I don't have a solution for that, but I'm asking from y'all's perspective, like if there was something you were picking up on that was super obvious.
So the thing I think that the big thing we pick up on top is like if we can capture knees, that makes this whole game a lot easier, because the entire way that you pass a guard is getting past the feet, knees, and then controlling the hips and eventually getting chest to chest or chest to back, right? So if you already get past the feet, controlling the feet, and are able to control knees, we found that makes it a lot more helpful from the top, because the hip flexors are usually pretty weak, right? And we can just kind of extend the legs out. So that's one thing. And what I would say as far as like developing a solution to prevent that, we would need to play this game more so you could figure that out. But like some things that have worked for us is like blocking our own feet, pushing on them as they start to pull us, pummeling to keep their hands off the knees, things like that, right? And the prerequisite to all of this is keeping their hands off of your feet. So that's like the first point of no return. And then you need to start looking for other things if they do get to a position like that, right?
Cool. Thank you. Helpful.
Yeah. Cool. What should we do next?
Double pant.
Double pant. Okay.
Just cutting angles.
Cool. Okay. This one's really simple. So all we're trying to figure out how to do from top position is figure out how to get to like advantageous angles on the bottom player. And what that means is like angles where his feet are off me and ideally pointed away from me. And you'll feel it when you get there, but there's no win condition for the top player. So my whole job here is to keep Matt's feet off of me and get to the side in any way I can while just controlling his pant legs. And his whole goal is to just use his feet to stay attached to me. So he can push on my arms and legs. He can hook on my arms and legs. He can push on my body again. He can push on his own body. And just, try to keep the feet. It's a continuous game, so how are we going to do? We can't do top, bottom, out.
Could just do
1 minute and rotate.
1 minute rotate. Yeah,
1
just
minute
every
rotate.
minute.
Okay.
And the person on the wall watches time.
Watches the time and says minute. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, but then
But
you and I
it's
are
going to
going,
bleed the time.
But if you and I are going, and then a minute goes, are we going? Okay. Every other time, the person from the wall goes to either group 1 or group 2.
We could do it just like a line,
Yeah.
right? Person on the wall comes in, goes to group 1.
Yeah.
Goes to group 2. Person in group 2 circles out on the wall, and then whoever's out the next round, like it, right? And the person from group 1 is going to shift over to group 2. Person comes off the wall. Does that make sense?
We're going in a circle.
Yeah.
What do we do about this?
We are always facing the same person, right? Just 2 people.
Let's add a win condition.
Okay.
Let's this one. I think this will simplify it because this. So if we get here and we're able to hold this position with his feet pointed away from me and off me at his hip line, let's just call that a win.
3 seconds or?
Yeah, 3 seconds.
okay.
We can do 3 seconds if we're able to get to. It can look anyway too, like
As long
I
as
could
feet
have
are
these
off.
paragraphs.
Yeah.
Feet are off, pointed away, and I'm at his hip line. We'll just call that a win.
And no grips for the person above.
No grips,
Grips.
no gi grips yet. Yeah, just framing.
Yep.
I don't know if it's a valid win condition, but
All right.
And do the same thing, top bottom.
Yeah, top bottom.
All right. That's good. That's really good.
I love gravity. I love gravity.
We're just
Just like that. I can't even.
Oh, sorry. I cannot. I have to keep running. Yeah, keep. Okay, all right. Yes.
And we're only just focusing on the ribs together. Yeah.
Oh man. And we put a lot of. No estoy working.
Yeah.
Tira, primero.
Yeah, that's it. Here on each side, keep your feet off you. Don't let it tap your feet at all. Nice, yes, that.
Oh, no, yeah. No.
That's it for the round. Yeah. Good job, everybody. I will say this is the first time we added a win condition to that one because normally it's a continuous game for a short amount of time. So I think we need to work on the specifying exactly what the win condition is. But anybody have any thoughts? Anybody?
I mean, I think this game puts into perspective the importance of being able to just get the feet off of you.
Yeah, that should be the goal the whole time.
Before you ever even try to like go around, if the feet are attached to you, and that's what I think you found when we were going, is like, you no matter what you did to try to go around, as long as I had a foot on you, very, very difficult.
So because you have the constraint of grabbing this, then I found it's more successful or easier to have, as a defendant, to have your feet attached to my forearm, to the attacker's forearms, than to their legs, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you were doing all the time, trying to repummel, and you're repummeling, blah, blah, blah. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it makes it very difficult. Yeah. Anybody else have any?
Yeah, I don't know. I think these drills are like perfect for exactly what I'm trying to do. Like, I think no matter what your game is, I mean, just these fundamental things that we've been like that these two drills are. I would love to do this for like 2 weeks straight. I don't see how somebody's guard couldn't get better by doing this for like 5 days a week for 2 weeks. You know.
Yeah.
But it's
Anybody else?
Anything, I feel like this drill kind of emphasizes the importance of being able to switch your grips.
I like that.
Like
aspect too,
it
for
is
sure, yeah.
very difficult to create an angle when you are stuck in a static position, right? Every time I tried to create an angle with you, Josh, I found that it's really hard if I can't control your knees or your hips to get out of, right? Because at the end of the day, we're trying to get their knees and their hips to point away from us. Right. But it's really hard to do that when I have a grip at probably the worst lever.
Yeah.
You know? So just definitely emphasis. And on bottom, emphasizing the importance of attachment for sure. Yeah. If you're not attached, you do have frames, but those are kind of like a last ditch. And you also have inversion too, but still, you need that attachment in order to prevent them from creating that angle in the first place.
Yeah. That's that weird zero sum thing. So like most of these games are actually like a zero sum game, meaning that whatever is advantageous for the bottom person is equally disadvantageous for the top person and vice versa. So like we've said here, if the bottom person can keep the feet attached to them, it negates a lot of stuff. The moment that the top player can keep the feet off of them, it makes creating those angles so much easier, right? So it's a zero sum thing. What's good and bad for each player is like
bad and good for the other.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's what we'll see that in like a lot of these games. But what should we do next?
Real quick, the other important concept to touch on is what we've talked about over the last couple of weeks. Josh, is like mirroring. So knowing when to keep the attachment and when to pull back, because if the attacking player is like pulling your feet away, you don't want to like keep going with them. If you do, now all of this space is open. And so knowing when to mirror their effort. If they're pulling, you're pulling, and if they're pushing, you're pushing, and keeping the attachments, I think, is another important thing to keep in mind as we go through it.
Yeah, it's like keeping an optimal structure, and you keep an optimal structure through, like, one of the ways to do that is through like that distance management, right? So it depends on where the person is.
And your optimal structure is going to change over time too, right? Right. Like depending on the angle they have, you're going to have to change your structure. And I think that's another important thing that these games emphasize too, is like having a good structure and good frames are good, but depending on the angle that person is giving you, those frames and that optimal structure is going to, it's not static, it's ever changing.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
That changes when we're allowed to attach.
Yeah. Do you want to go pant collar? Do you want to do the one where we're grabbing collars, or do you want to do the one where we start with pant and collar and we're trying in the same?
I think we need let's do the one where we just grab the pant and collars.
Okay. So now we're switching groups.
Actually, maybe we can do the pant and collar. let's do a short round of the one where we grab the pant and collar, and then we'll do a longer round of pant and collar, and if we can get chest to chest or chest to back, so we open up a little more variability.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. So for this next one, this one is like a game of, man, because we don't have any win conditions again, so that makes these.
You want to just go straight to pant collar, chest?
Yeah, let's go straight to pant collar, chest to chest. Yeah. Okay. So for this next one, I'm gonna start. I can pick any pant and collar as long as they're on the opposite side. So if I have his left pant, pick his right collar on my side. Yeah, and also or on this side. And the idea here is using these grips, and you can like let go and reestablish those grips. But as the top player, you want to be continually only looking for these opposite side pant and collar grips, and you're going to use these in order to get chest to chest or chest to back on the bottom player, and that can look however you want. So if I go here and Matt faces away from me for whatever reason, if I simply make a chest to chest connection and hold that, I don't need hooks, chest to back connection, sorry, and just hold that, I win. If I get past Matt here, he turns in, I get a chest to chest connection, I also win. And Matt's whole goal here is to keep his feet in front of me and attached to me, and he can't make any grips yet. He can just frame. He can push on me, he can push on himself, just like the previous games. But this is going to be a bit of a self-imposed constraint on the top player too. Like really just be trying to focus on keeping these opposite side pant and collar grips, and you can change them if you want, but that's all we're trying to do is focus on just keeping those feet off of you and getting to the side, getting past the knees and getting chest to chest or chest to back. And if you accomplish that, then you win, and we'll just do like top, bottom out. Cool.
Cool.
Any questions on that?
Weird to throw upside down.
Yeah, just keep those opposite side. We do another game too where we like find different combinations of grips, but we need to figure out how we're gonna do these continuous games with odd number people, which we haven't yet. So cool. Can I go first?
I was gonna say, can I get one of those smaller people? Makes more sense in my brain.
All right, and top player can start with the pant and collar. Bottom player just framing, no like grips. Keep your feet in front. All right. Everybody ready? Go. Yeah, try to keep those pant collars.
I was like, when do I let go of these?
Yeah, that's right.
I realized I had to let go to get those.
Yeah. Then you can let go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Nice. Nice. Nice recovery, Jess. Zach, focus on getting feet off you. Before you do anything else, feet off. Do whatever you gotta do. Yep. Okay, okay. Oh, you're good, you're good, you're good. Okay. Oh man, I was trying to figure out what to do, let me. Your ecological feet. The ecological feet. You at the end there, as soon as you actually, I noticed something very specific, but I don't want to bias your response. What did you figure out at the end there?
Well, you were telling me what to do, which was,
Well, I was giving you one cue.
yeah, that cue was super helpful.
Okay.
Keep the feet off. I mean, I don't know. It's funny. I feel like the comments some of y'all are making are more like you're seeing the game at a different level, and I'm being exposed to these drills for the first time, and so like I'm sensing the power of, I don't know, almost like, you know, you have situational sparring, right? But this is almost like super situational sparring. It's like not just like pass my guard, but it's like pass my guard with this particular constraints in this particular way, and this it's almost like more fundamental. So I don't know. I really like it.
It's conceptual sparring.
Situational sparring is a part of like the constraints-led approach.
Yeah.
This is the name of the training method we're doing is the constraints-led approach. Situational sparring is just like a very variable version.
Right.
You open it all the way up to the full jiu-jitsu sparring. It's all part of the same thing. All we're doing is playing with the like pass simplification.
Right. Right. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. No, I love it. I really do love it. It's like, yeah, I would.
And like it sounds so simple or rudimentary when you like break it down this way, but or maybe it's oversimplification. But really, the overarching concept for the bottom player is keep your feet on them, and in front and them in front of you, right? And vice versa. The concept for the person on top is keep, because you like cannot pass the guard if their feet are on you. You just can't. It's like every guard pass in history has involved getting past the feet. And if that condition is not met, the past cannot exist. And so what we're trying to do is focus solely on that piece of it, because what Fernando, Jess, Josh or I give you are all going to be different things based on our body types, our skill level, our understanding of the game, all that stuff. Like, and you don't know what you're going to get. You know, you don't, and I think that's the beauty of this is like, we're not like going down the path of like, all right, this is the one response to this one thing, right? It's like all the gray area around it. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Go back to military mode here to piggyback off what Matt was saying. Josh is having flashback. Yeah. No, what I was talking to Matt about this the other day, and like essentially what we're doing, if you think about any like painting or drawing of like a really high caliber, right? What we're doing is by each different reaction, and say the position is the painting overall. By each different reaction, we're giving you a different element of that painting, right? And then I'm talking about lines, shading, tone, texture. Each individual piece of information that you get, each different reaction fills in your understanding of that position a little bit more until you have a more complete picture. Does that make sense?
Totally, yeah. And I guess last thing for me is just like, I think I'm just really a very much like do-it learner, hands-on learner. So I'm not necessarily internalizing exactly the lessons. And I hear you guys when you're like, all right, feet, right? But I think I'm confident that with enough reps of this, it would be like, wow, my guard would be way better. You know,
It's the concept of training density. Yeah.
You will have no choice but to.
yeah,
Otherwise, we'll just keep losing.
Yeah.
right.
This is, I think, unrelated to this particular exercise, but one thing I like about this class is compared to like more traditional ones is when it comes to having a training partner who's like a higher belt or more skilled person. To me, in classical classes, there was like always this intimidating factor of pairing up with them. However, here, like you are brown belt, for example, very highly skilled. Like the intimidating factor is divided by 100 and thousands because we are like playing a game, constrained game. Yeah. So it's okay, like I'm gonna get, like I'm gonna do poorly, but like it's one again, and again. And it's more of a game-based. 100%. So there's a lot of value in there in what it comes to learning from more skilled people, at least for folks that have suffered this intimidating factor.
You're also touching on a really important concept, which is the whole point here too, is that you can play these games with anybody and still have a chance to win. The games are set up uneven, so it doesn't necessarily matter as much the size and length and skill level. It still matters, of course, but you have a chance to like be in positions that you might not normally be in with a more skilled person, for example. Like you might never get there in a role, right?
Yeah. And for example, if like let's say a black belt comes here, how am I gonna drill technique with a black belt, right? It feels like just drilling technique. I don't know. To me, it feels like
I feel dumb.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But this is okay. Like we can play, and like you say, I can even win.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Yeah, and real quick, I wanted to show real quick. Have you? So like we have these. The thing that starts emerging, like we play this game specifically because different types of passing starts emerging. Like you guys have probably seen people demonstrate like an X pass. And you've probably seen people demonstrate like this tiny like leg trap bullshit where he goes around.
Bullshit because I do it to him all the time.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is bullshit because you do it to me all the time. And then this thing that Matt's been doing lately. These are like, those we find that like these things just start happening naturally if you like force yourself to stay in these situations, because like what these techniques are just like snapshots in time. But I'm never sitting here trying to like force this same thing on Matt the whole time, because I'm never gonna like force this one thing on him, right? So I'm switching between all this stuff, and that's like different behaviors start emerging like that, right? So
kind of like it works for you too, right? Like what you gravitate towards in those.
Yeah, and what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
What do you want to do next? You look like you had something to say on
No.
that. Okay.
I don't know. You wanna getting the grips? What is it?
So the game that I have my students play is win condition for the person on top is to get 2 grips and one of them has to be on the pants.
Okay.
So pant and sleeve, pant and collar, pant and pant.
Oh, that's very similar. Okay. Cool.
Right.
Okay.
Win condition for the person on bottom, they have to establish a guard / 3 points of contact.
Okay. Can you demonstrate?
Yeah.
You can flip the mic to you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so if I'm on top, the win condition for this is I have to get 2 grips and I have to hold them for 3 seconds total, okay? Have you face the camera too, Matt. Right? It can be any grip with a pant grip. So it can be pant and pant. It can be pant and sleeve, pant and collar. Posting your hand does not count, okay? So any 2 grips here, this doesn't count. This doesn't count. One of them does have to be a pant grip. So on bottom, stand up. You can establish any guard with 3 points of contact, mind you. So it can be 1, 2, 3. It can be 1, 2, 3. It can be 1, 2, 3. Any guard with 3 points of contact, because 3 points of contact is enough to attach yourself to anybody, right? Can be collar, sleeve, anything with 3 points of contact. Only 2 points of contact, feet, 1 foot, 1 hand, does not count. Establish 3 seconds, either top or bottom.
Okay. If like somehow I get like 2 pant grips on Matt and he attaches 2 feet to me in any way
You
and
win.
like grabs, I win. I
You
win or
win.
he wins.
If it's only 2 points of contact.
But no,
you win.
he has 3 points of contact.
Oh, you have 3 points of contact. It's gonna be. I'm gonna say, go ahead and say that it's gonna be the person on bottom because that is a more advantageous position for him.
Okay, so I need to establish my grips for 3 seconds without him having 3 points of contact on me.
Yes.
That's the goal. Okay.
Yes, because once I establish contact on bottom for 3 points, I have the more advantageous position from here.
Okay, so if I do like here and he doesn't have 3 points of contact.
Yes.
Okay, I win. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Josh is like, let's go.
Trying to game the game.
Okay. Gaming the game. Yeah. Cool. All right, let's try it. Let's do it. Top, bottom out. Cool.
Toss it out for
Yeah, this is similar because we had one where we like try to find pant collar combination, so it's pretty similar. We just don't have the win condition of like the guard, so we can let's do that.
practice with those grips. Now there's a chance to practice establishing them.
Okay.
Person on bottom, I would start hiding your feet, sitting up with your feet back. Guys, watch out in back of you.
Oh, sorry. We're running around. No, I want the one movie. My legs wrapped around you. Does that count? That's why I stopped.
I don't know. I don't know if that should be win or not. That I'll leave that up to the group. I feel like.
Okay, we can discuss that after.
Yeah.
We go just.
Sorry. Still going. We were still going? I don't think. Oh man, sorry. Yes. Okay, my bad. Did you get a guard? No, I thought we had stuff. Oh, yeah. Like, okay, all right. We did stop. All right. Thank you. Chance to cheat one.
It's okay. But did we say that it's more advantageous with bottom or something?
To establish a guard. In that condition, yes. But as far as like, I feel like it has to be stabilized position. Does that make sense? Like if it's still in a scramble,
Yeah.
you should be able to hold them in your guard to practice control too, you know?
I'm a little confused by that.
Let's keep playing with the guard person wins.
Stuff the game out. Yeah.
Hey, nice. Good job. Oh man. Oh, nice.
You guys can keep playing. I think I just resprayed my phone.
Oh shit.
It's okay. Keep going. You guys can keep going.
You see?
Yeah, I'm good. Keep going.
Your bottom.
Keep going.
You?
No, keep going. I just resprayed my phone. So. Keep going, Fernando. Switch. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. This is with Fernando, you go Zach.
So hard to have. No, wait, why? What did I do? What did I do? From brain part.
Yeah.
You want to plug it up?
Yeah, I might have to.
All right. So, as far as the confusion regarding the win condition, I think if there's a question as to who's at the draw, guard player on bottom with established 3 points of contact, definitely more advantageous, especially if the feet are in the mix, right? Because then you have a frame. What was the other point of confusion that we had, Josh?
I think it was just that. It was like just the definitions. I think the problem we're seeing here is that the win conditions aren't necessarily zero sum. So like we can both meet a win condition at the same time, and then we're having to decide who we think might be the winner in that situation. So like typically it's easier to suss out, I think, if like it ends up in a situation where like I did something that was good for me and prevented them from also meeting whatever their win condition could have been, right? So I think that's conceptually where the confusion comes from.
Okay.
For this one. But I do like some of these things that are happening. Like it's making me have to, for example, get attached to you before you can attach to me. I think that's like a great skill. But I think we just need to suss out the conditions specifically in the game, I think is the thing.
I think in order to solve that, it's going to have to be like an established it's going to be an established position. If the person on bottom has attachment for 3 seconds, has their points of attachment, and you cannot pass from there, or you do not have an advantageous angle, that's one thing. If you're like passing and I have my attachment, do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like,
that's where the gray area is. Yeah. I think we can think about this one more. I think there's definitely some value happening somewhere in there. Yeah, we can just keep thinking about it. You look like you had some thoughts, Fernando. Yeah.
Like, hold up. Sure.
I am listening to you. I just gotta get my mouth out of my face.
So I really like how you strip down like having a guard to having 3 points of contact. I think that is an aha moment for a lot of BJJ practitioners. My question there will be is, would for those 3 point of contacts, do having 2 point of contacts on the same limb count as 2? Like I'm talking, for example, I'm imagining like a spider kind of hook, right? Where you have
You're
this
talking
leaf.
about a De La Hiva where you have
Yeah,
pressure and pressure.
exactly. Would that count as 2 different point contacts? Not for this game specifically, but for what establishing a guard is? Or
You might say so. The only problem with that is usually when you break one of those points of contact, the other one tends to go away. Like, right, like for example, if I stand up, if I have a De La Hiva hook on you, right, I have 2 points of contact here, but the minute you break this point of contact here, this one is all automatically weakened. So these frame off of each other, and that's what forces the internal rotation of your knee. Does that make sense?
yes, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, good thoughts. Thank you for presenting the new game. What do you want to do? Do you want to do back control, no hooks? Yeah. So. Okay, yeah, I think you've played this one. So all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stay with a chest to back connection on mat. I can have any upper body connections I want. The only thing I can't do is cover his hips, meaning I can't have my feet over his hips or have a body triangle, so no hooks, no body triangle. Any upper body attachments, including if I want to use my legs to attach to his upper body, I can attach to him like that. But we're gonna be starting not in that position, but just legs behind him, chest to back connection, any upper body like this, and I can transition between anything. And I just need to hold on to him as long as I can. So he starts rolling around. I just need to stay attached to him. As long as I stay attached to him, I'm still winning. The moment that he turns and faces me, he wins. I lose.
No matter if he ends up in like side control or something.
It doesn't matter for now. Okay. Yeah. As long as he turns and actually, yeah, that's right. If he just turns and faces me, that's it.
Okay.
So that could be like he turns and faces me and we're in like a closed guard or whatever. The thing that's going to make this easy, which you're not going to be able to accomplish 100% of the time, is if you just solely focus on, or one good focus is to focus on keeping as much of his body as you can between, as much of the space between your knees as you can. So keep him between the knees and that'll make it a lot easier for you. Cool. Do it.
Attack, defend, out.
Yeah, go from attack to defend to out. Yeah, top, bottom, out. Attack and top, yeah.
Yep.
Yay!
It's so hard. This game is really hard. Like to control or to control. I think to control. Okay.
This one here. No. Oh.
Oh, we rotated wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on. Okay. Ready?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Hold up. Never right hand.
What's up, Fernando?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Anybody thoughts?
I actually have a technique that would help in this situation, specifically a way of controlling the back from here.
Let's not show it though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Talk about what your attention is directed at, not the specific method that we're doing it, but let's just focus on what the effect that you're trying to have on your partner. Are you trying to keep them away from you using your knees, your hands? Like, what is the effect you want to have on them?
Mostly I'm using my knees to create a frame against the back, and to force that attachment, right? If I can't attach to the front of the hip. I'm gonna have to suffice with my arms,
Got it.
right? Being pinned here, and create a push-pull somewhere else, right? Because I don't have the pull here. So I can use the push to create tension in my upper arms and make that attachment stronger.
Oh, you're inverting the classical attachments. Okay, so because like normally when we have hooks, we're able to pull and use this to pull and push. But since you don't have any pulling force really with your lower body, you're pushing against our upper body and pulling. So it's like you're creating.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, now that you say that, I noticed myself doing it. But
Yeah.
I didn't know how to, because I was just doing everything I could to like keep my chest. Like I was pulling everything in to keep my chest connected to the back, and using my legs is kind of.
Got it. So really this turned into the stay behind them game, not necessarily. So I think chest to back is one way to stay behind people. Another way to stay behind people is to use your legs. So
well, and to further off what I was saying too, normally how we attach our hips to theirs is pulling in with these hooks, right? But you can also accomplish attachment by filling the space in between their back and the hips. So whenever they try and scoot the hips out, you can create a wedge there to keep them from getting their hips to the mat and keep them from moving.
okay. Yeah, that's definitely one of the more creative ways that, because you did it to me immediately. I was like, yeah, this is different. So it was good to like encounter that. Yeah, sick. Anybody else notice?
It's a bit of a continuation of what you mentioned. It seems to me like double collar is a stronger grip
It's very strong.
in this game, right?
Stronger for control, less so for attack.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's right.
Something we haven't played this game in a while. So I think it bears mentioning for the defending player to separate the other person's hands.
Yeah, I didn't talk about that.
That's I like as soon as somebody's hands got anywhere close, I was immediately going for thumbs and just trying to like pull everything apart.
Yeah.
And that was helpful in getting out.
That's actually a good point. We should have mentioned that at the start of the game. Like defending player focus on like separating hands.
Yeah.
You have me. You were just, but you know.
Yeah. Well, we also find that like anytime we can grab lapels, like makes it like.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to get out.
Like I had if you think about it, a submission is really just like the ultimate control position because it's controlling you so much that you have to give up. If you can get to that position.
Yeah. Right.
I don't have to submit you, but I'm controlling you.
Right. And actually, that's how we started ours. You had your hand all the way across, and the very first thing I did before I did anything was like go for your thumb and just try to rip your hands apart. And once your hands got on either side, like I had one hand on either side of the midline, then I could start like turning and twisting and trying to like work myself out. But like if I try to turn and twist before I address the immediate threat, which is your hand on my neck, then that's a huge problem, right? You're gonna get the thing. So anyways, that was helpful for me.
What do you want to do? The next thing, potential progression here we could do is add mount. This is essentially our crab ride thing, but let's do back control, but add mount as a win condition for the person on.
For the attacker?
The attacking player, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. So
That's
same exact game, except what's happening here is I'm going to start with my hands on Matt's belt or on his pants, whatever's fine. And as soon as we say go, I can change to any grips I want, but I'm starting attached to the belt or the pants, okay? I can stay there if I want, or I can switch. And my entire goal is to stay attached to Matt's back. Again, I can't, this time I can like cover the hips if I want. So I can begin to put hooks in. The only way that I can win is if I get chest to chest to Matt and covering the hips, meaning get to mount. If I get to mount on Matt, then I win. That's the only way I can win. And the way that Matt wins is if he's able to face me and trap one of my legs in between his legs or around my body or have his feet in front of me. And I have to get chest to chest covering his hips, which doesn't necessarily mean I need to be in this classical mount position. I can have his hips covered like this, like whatever way that I'm covering his hips with my legs and also have a chest to chest connection. Sorry about your balls. Thanks. Yeah, so like the only way that you can win now on the back, like now we're giving you a win condition, is if you get chest to chest with covered hips, right? Yeah, and he
Still no hooks for that.
or
for the back.
you can add hooks if you want, or yeah, because now we're like focusing on covering the hips, right? And like so yeah, that's fine. Hooks from the back is fine. And if Matt traps a leg, meaning half guard, full guard, or he's able to get his feet back in front and face me, so it doesn't matter if I'm chest to chest like this. Matt wins. Cool.
That answered my question.
What? Oh, you gotta go? Okay.
It was really cool. Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you, bro. Yeah, you're just doing
Sorry, Mike.
No, I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it.
Oh, I thought you were.
Oh, you have it.
Gotta get
I can't pick it up with his hands.
guarding the mic.
Wait, which bell was that? Meeting? Oh, I think bell. Oh, yeah, I thought the bell in the meeting. Okay.
Now we go 2 minutes, switch on wins, then switch people.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Okay. Switch people. Oh. You want to do 3 minutes with no win to switch people?
Are we going to switch once or twice? Switch 2 times, then everybody will go that way. Somebody, you won't go with somebody.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just talking about the length of the round. Because on a winning condition, we're going to be swapping
Yeah, go
partners.
3 minutes. 3, because this is wins. I don't think.
Yeah, it's take a lot.
I
think it is.
grappling.
Fuck music.
I think it's for kids. Yeah. That was my prop board.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Freddie is a stomper.
Attack.
I'll attack.
Starting behind, starting behind. Downward hands, and then you say go, and you can progress. Go.
But
Great. It's just having the leg, yeah. I feel like that's why I added like butterflies the thing, because if I'm good.
but if I'm trapping the leg in 3/4,
You just have my foot. That was your butterfly mouth.
Thank you, Josh. You're the man, dude.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thank you,
Really
bro.
fun day. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
No, it's fine, no worry.
Spots. Didn't give me very many spots.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll play two defensively. Maybe not also. Maybe it's not the aim of the game. Because they're not going to stay.
I mean, you don't have to worry about me choking. And I think that's where your head was.
Yeah, maybe. That's fine.
I don't think
You mind if I attack?
I have not defended yet. So you want to attack?
Water first. Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah, please.
Gatorades. You guys know.
Keep hydrated. I'm off right now.
Yeah.
Everybody hydrate.
Remember, there's a time at CPA when you get in trouble for getting water in your mouth. Yuri was teaching.
That sounds like Yuri.
Mm-hmm.
Gatorade.
Okay.
I don't want to do it after. Do it now. Okay. You do it after this one.
Guess it is really difficult to understand the people.
Oh shit.
I think we need to hold that.
Damn, man, I keep telling my mind pretty good about that.
Yeah, I'll check the audio later.
What other sport? I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, start up. And hands up.
No,
Band up.
Sorry, this is my parade.
Go again.
Go again.
Right.
Okay.
No. So I was like, no, not it.
Ready? Let's go.
I don't know how I get out from there, but at least you were out.
Still on this next one. My neck is from.
Sorry, Chris.
No, you're good.
My God.
No, no, no. I was gonna be good for progress.
You gonna say what you learned with Fernando?
So, I am typically when I am on the back, I am not searching to go to mount. I am searching to keep the back. But I understand the importance in knowing how to maintain two of the most advantageous positions in the game. And sometimes you just can't hold the back, so the mount is the right answer. Fernando, with you, it took me 3 minutes to figure out because I kept getting one of my legs all the way across your body, but then I couldn't come up to mount. I was like, I'm halfway there. Yeah. And it was the half Nelson actually that did it. I like went under the arm and around the head. And that's when, once I did that, you couldn't go that way anymore. And then I could come up and I was able to reestablish.
Almost said that. Okay, I was starting to figure that out.
Okay.
Can you tell me that mic real quick?
Sure.
It hit me at 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
I was having the same exact problem with Fernando because he keeps turtling, right?
Yeah.
You start to throw the hook over and then he just goes back up to his knees. Yeah, and I started to get like an underhook on the shoulder, which is like a half step away from also being able to control the head at the same time.
Yeah, you had you had the collar very tight one. Sure. Yeah. So you had the collar which played the defensive part of the half Nelson, but not the offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the
Very intentional about trying to put your back on the mat.
Correct.
Right.
When
Correct.
It took me a long time to figure it out. Once I did, I realized the mount was.
Yeah.
You had the hips covered, but you didn't have the shoulders pinned. So you have to find a way to pin his shoulders as well.
I think what that goes. I have.
Yeah. She has.
What that goes back to is, you think of the shoulders and the hips like four corners on a table, right? You have to pin opposite ends of the corner, right? Or else the table's going to be unstable, right? Same. If you go both sides, they can turn to that side. If you go top, they have bottom. If you go bottom, they have top. You know.
That's what was happening. I was like covering and pinning the hips. Covering and pinning the hips, to your analogy, throwing the leg over, but not pinning the other corners. Yeah, so they were free to. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's a nice tool to add because it's a nice tool to add because I feel my number one game, the game that I want to play is like get on somebody's back and like that's where I want to finish things. But obviously you're gonna run up against people who are able to get out. Jerome. Every time if I get Jerome's back, he's fucking out. Yeah. And so this knowing how to like switch from the mount switching from the mount to the back is easy. That I do all the time. Switching from back to mount, not as easy. Yeah. And now I feel I have a better idea as to like how to force that conundrum, which is useful.
Yeah, and the thing about getting to mount also is that like as we find out really quickly.
Wait.
trapping the leg, like, because you realize how easy it is to get put right back into a guard as you're trying to go to mount. And it's like now you had the back, and now you're literally in their guard. Like, yeah.
There is something you can add to this game to. Yes, yes, yes. Sorry. I wonder if there is something that you could add to this game to avoid people stalling on their backs, or maybe that's precisely the purpose of the game. Like, because like I was feeling like, okay, I'm gonna try to not give them mount and stay on my like back take, but that is not
Right, not ideal.
not ideal, right? So I wonder if you can add something to, I don't know.
I think you add the threat of submission.
Yeah, we're talking. This is the dial. At the beginning, we were talking about the dial of the variability.
All right.
So it's all about adding and taking away
Okay.
things, right? So now this game, like we said at the beginning, every game highlights something that's missing.
Yeah, all right,
that,
all right.
that actually helps guide us too, and like what is the next piece of the progression, right?
Okay,
So
all
it's
right.
like, yeah, I don't want a guy stuck on my back. For the purposes of this game, I'm winning, but
Okay.
and actually you haven't won yet. Like you're still trying to get out, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But now we had the threat of a choke. Now what are you gonna do?
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, win conditions, person on back, choke, or mount.
Yeah.
And then you're just gonna change the way
Yeah.
the approaches the Cool.
Well, folks, I also have to leave. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, we can clean it up. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Who's this? This
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for
Sure.
coming, man.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Hey.
Got yours.
You little fucking nub.
Yeah.